You know, there truly are indeed three very distinct parts of our growth process incarnate on this earth plane. Three very distinct phases of which we all must undergo while we are indeed here. The whole reason that our soul has chosen to incarnate at this time in this earth school, which is one of the most difficult places to actually incarnate, is because on the other side, we are truly incredible souls. We ourselves have trained for this incarnation mission since before we ever came here. We have indeed made a plan to be part of this great process that is currently happening in this earth system at this time. When I say that all of the universe waits and watches what's going to happen here, that's so much truth. I am Maria Lupita Gurule. I am a near-death experiencer, a soul reader, and a wisdom keeper. When I'm talking about these three different phases and these three different parts of our soul's growth here on the earth plane, the first and foremost is to undo, rewind, unbind the very barrier and blocking of our soul's awareness. The awareness that we are a soul. This first part is to reconnect with that very first original soul essence that we actually are. We are an incredible soul that is so much more than we can possibly even imagine. When we understand this, we go through a phase within ourselves, which is releasing all of the pain stories, and then a sensing and feeling of, wait, there's something more. I'm tired of all of this suffering. Life has to be better. And so then there begins the process of our soul's growth. Pain serves. When we finally get to the point of absolute rock bottom, where we are tired of our pain, when we make that difficult decision within ourselves to learn a new way, that's phase one. Second phase is also the discovery that we are indeed something greater and bigger than what we can imagine to be. That we have an incredible soul within ourselves. That we hold and carry something so special, so divine, that there is something greater than we can imagine. That in this place begins the phase of seeking. That we begin to understand that there's more to life than our suffering, and we want to discover what that more is. What is it that we are sensing and feeling that has drawn our attention and that we are wanting to discover and reconnect with? That is an incredible process of releasing that we are separate and that we do not have to suffer. The second part is we are greater than that of our suffering, that there's something more inside of us that we begin to feel and are called and pulled towards our growth. It is a soul hunger for the desire for connection, for the understanding of what we actually are, a reconnection with self. Okay, that's the second phase. And then the third and ultimate phase, okay, is as we begin to grow and discover that there is something greater inside of ourselves, that soul part, we begin to understand that there is something even greater than that is within us. That there is an even greater divine plan. That we are part of something that is all together. That we finally understand that there is this entire unity, oneness, that we are not separate, that we are indeed part of one bigger whole, a bigger truth. we begin to discover something so incredible. And that was what was promised to us. This is this secondary part. It is an ambient energy that is available and all around us. If we have the eyes to see it, the desire to connect with it, to understand it, to begin to fuse with it, that it begins to become incorporated into our being. There's something very, very different about this secondary process that opens up into the third process, the discovery of spirit. We are here on this earth plane to discover that we are meant to be a soul and spirit fused being. So the first phase is the discovery that we are more than our suffering. The second phase is the understanding that we are indeed an eternal soul. That eternal soul that is seeking and reaching for that greater unity. And then the third phase is connecting with that unity, connecting to that part of ourself, and becoming a soul, spirit fused being. It is a soul on fire. And it is a passion that burns from within, a sacred burning of our soul spark. And it burns like the light on the fire that it actually is. Little do you know that you carry the magnitude and the energy of a star within you. Oh, every living thing holds this soul essence, this God spark, a spark of the divine, this spark of this divinity, this light that we carry. When we understand that, connect with it, use it to help us and better ourselves, okay? It is an extraordinary, incredible moment where we begin to see the synchronicities of life, that there is indeed a greater, bigger divine plan. When things are difficult or we have issues, we begin to understand that these things do not necessarily go away because they are a state of our human condition, but we can begin to utilize and understand spiritual tools for learning how to live life. So when we learn these spiritual tools and how to live life, we can actually begin to create this new earth. You are here, incarnate on the planet at this time, to help usher in this new earth energy. The time of the new earth is now. We are the ones creating it. You are part of it. Your soul has chosen to incarnate at this time for this very reason. The things that have occurred in life, it's okay. We are releasing the pain stories so that we can open up into something greater and bigger than ourselves. And all of it does indeed serve. We are eternal beings having a micro experience that, as we learn and apply these tools, can improve the quality of our life, and we can begin to sense and feel that there is a support system all around us. So I thank you so much for being here. I thank you for your time and watching. I thank you so much for your sharing, your learning, and our growing together. We're all in this together. I just simply made a choice to return from my near-death experience with the desire to truly serve. That as I am talking about all of these things, I'm actually tapping into this living, vibrating energy. It's known as the Akashic Records, but it's more than that. We are all infused in this living, breathing, vibrating essence. We are so incredible. May you know that. Carry that within you. Begin to activate it within you. And I promise you will begin to have an entirely new, different experience. Soul technology. When we know how to work life, life works. Thank you so much for being here. I can feel little droplets coming down. So I'm going to go ahead and hustle my way home. so I don't get caught in this little rain. May you have a beautiful, blessed evening. Thank you for joining me.